Welcome to the Class is Permanent podcast. Today is Friday, March 20th, episode 30 here for you. Fellas, we've officially made it to episode 30. Quick clap. Quick clap, everybody. Congrats, everybody. Well done. And we do have a doozy for you. We will, of course, get into a midweek recap of the exciting Champions League action. Our new segment, Bracketology, is March Madness. We're recording this on Thursday night. March Madness has officially kicked off. And then we will get into a weekend preview. We got Premier League, we got La Liga, we got the EFL Cup final. So I'm sure Pooch is excited about that. And a lot of exciting news. Let's get into it. Away we go.
Class is permanent! Form is temporary!
Alrighty. I am joined by a man who says way too much. Mr. Daniel Capucci from 51 Elm Street in Morristown, New Jersey, the Jefferson. How are you, Mr. Daniel Capucci?
All right.
Pooch doesn't want to talk because before this, Owen told him to stop saying so much. Owen listened to... What's funny, wait, what episode did you listen to?
It wasn't the most recent one. I don't know why. I just kind of opened our Spotify and just clicked on a random one.
How far did you get? Because the episode you missed, me and Pooch put a code word in there to say, Owen, if you're listening to this, to text us. And I'm just curious if it's that episode you didn't get there yet, because that would have been a perfect segment.
I totally should have listened to that one. I didn't even think about that.
You just missed like the one episode you weren't on. Midway through the episode, we did it really well too. We're talking like Celta Vigo versus Roma or whatever in Europa League, and all of a sudden we're like, all right, Owen, the code word is pineapple or something. Midway through, we're like, all right, back to the episode. So you failed.
Maybe if the episodes weren't 8 hours long, then maybe I didn't get through it.
Owen has the attention span of a TikTok. He wants us to get through all of this in 60 seconds or less.
We should be done by... It's 8:22 right now. We should be done by 8:45.
All right. Well, maybe if Pooch stops saying it'll save a little time here. He muted himself. You have completely broke that man.
I destroyed him. You should have warned me that this is what constructive criticism would get us.
He does not handle it well at all.
I didn't know that.
I won't say it, but I'm going to say less words now.
I'm sorry, guys. I'd like to apologize to the audience. I don't feel the need to apologize to Pooch. I think he'll be fine.
Wow.
But to E and the audience, I'm sorry for what I've done to this show.
Fair enough. I'll accept you there. Pooch, do you have constructive criticism for Owen? Maybe that's a good way to just bury the hatchet.
I think he needs to follow through with any bets he made in terms of shaving his head.
That's fair. Owen, thoughts? Just constructive criticism.
Yeah, I guess that's like hypothetical criticism because I haven't not done it yet.
Wait, wasn't it that Spurs won the Champions League?
No, it was that we placed 16th or above.
Wow. So it's just not to get relegated. That was a really poor bet. Really a lose-lose here. All right. I guess it's a win-lose. Spurs stay up, but you shave your head. Low-key, I think we talked about this last episode. I don't know if we were recording or not, but I feel like you could rock a buzz cut. You're a fashionable guy.
Yeah, but a buzz cut's a whole other thing.
Understandable. I cannot. If I rock a buzz cut, I look like I'm 47. Sorry, Pooch, for the there, and Owen, I'm sorry about that. Not gonna cut that one out. But let's get into it.
Ethan, real quick.
Yes,
I've been counting your UMMs.
Yes.
Since we started. It's been 4 minutes, and I have about 6 that I've already heard. Just wanna.
I didn't get the constructive feedback.
You say it cool enough where it rolls off. It feels good.
So maybe that's constructive criticism there. That you should learn how to say in a cooler way.
Yeah, if you physically can't cut the ums out, then try and incorporate it in your vernacular in a more auraful way.
Or just change the word to something else. Make your thinking word something absurd. He's still not talking.
I'm looking it up right now.
All right. Well.
Okay. I will try and be more cognizant.
Nice word.
Of my use
Spell
of
cognizant.
UMM.
He's reading it.
He's looking at
He's
it
reading
right
it.
now.
Yeah, he's reading it. All right.
You think I could just pull cognizant out of my dichotomy like that? Come on.
Dichotomy? That's not even close to the right use of that word.
That's crazy.
Dichotomy, a contrast.
Guys, we
Okay, I
got
did
20
know that.
minutes till this episode's over, so let's get into the footy.
I
Wow.
feel like we're entering a bit of a quagmire right now.
Who's Quagmire?
Giggity.
Jesus, the original Epstein, the original Poochstein. All right, let's get into it here. First big piece of news, AFCON. A lot of people thought AFCON was done. People asked me about AFCON and said, now that AFCON's done, what is Pooch going to talk about? AFCON never dies. It is never too soon. It is never too late. For those that did not see, CAF, the African Football Federation. Good. That was a good soundboard. See how I did in a good way. Sorry. They have retroactively deemed Morocco the champions, I guess, of AFCON. I'm going to turn this over to my AFCON expert, Dr. Capucci. Pooch, can you just break this down? I don't know. I've never seen anything like this before in footy, ever.
First off, that's my father's name. Second off, fuck. Owen, see what you've done. This is your fault, Owen.
We're gonna start a Pooch counter where it's just up on the
God.
screen.
I physically can't speak without thinking now. Oh, this is the worst.
27-year-old man, get it together.
I can't get into a good train of thought. And now I forgot what your question was. Were you just turning it over to me?
AFCON. Yep.
Okay.
Talk about it.
All right. CAF is a bunch of corrupt assholes. Did I say it again?
No.
Okay. The CAF is a bunch of corrupt assholes. Morocco shouldn't be awarded this.
You gotta talk quicker. Just talk. Just speak.
I'm trying my hardest
Just speak, please.
to not say it.
You know what, Pooch? Ums are back on the table. I just got an email. From the top. They said ums are good.
CEO.
Because if I say it again, both of you are going to crack up. Because if I say it again, both of you are going to crack up. And
Pooch
then
is like
it'll
the
be
Papa
even
John's
worse.
guy, the head of Papa John's, who had to get a certain word out of his vocabulary, and it took him a year, as he said. That's Pooch with ums.
Well, it's not so much the word itself, it's just trying to think about not saying a word. And that's the tough. Okay.
Back to AFCON.
CAF is a bunch of corrupt assholes. Cannot believe they did this to my boys in green, yellow, and red. This won't stand. I'm working on something right now, and I'm gonna fix it.
It sounds like
meantime-
you're reading off a paper.
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing a school project, but you didn't do the project. Yeah, Pooch, can you read this next slide?
See, if I did that, I would start with UMM. Just trying to be more cognizant. I'm just trying to be more cognizant. I also saw that the ball boys suspensions got reduced from 200,000 to 50,000 each, and the player got his suspension pushed back. I think that's corrupt bullshit as well. I think the CAF is corrupt, but we already knew that. That's what makes the tournament great. And what also makes the tournament great is not a single person will recognize this, not even the actual Moroccan players. Today, the Senegalese coach went to the military.
I saw that. One of their
went to the military, base, and was around the entire military with the trophy. Basically saying, if you want it, come get it. They will fight to the death for that trophy. And I believe them. In 2 years or 4 years, when the next AFCON is, I will give my AFCON preview and it will say 2026 winners Senegal. Not a single person in this world will recognize Morocco's win except the Moroccan FA, the CAF, and that scumbag Infantino.
How does this affect Brahim Diaz's Ballon d'Or case?
It's back on the table, technically.
He's a champion now.
He's a champion.
So, from what I read, it technically was the correct decision, but it was the correct decision if they made the decision like when the team initially walked off, if that makes sense. So like if a team walks off, the game is forfeited and Morocco should have just won then and there. So I kind of understand why they made the decision, but you can't go back on something twice. You can't let them back on the field, play the game, say Senegal are champions, do the whole thing, song and dance, and then come back and be like, well, never mind, that part of the game didn't count.
Also, the entire team didn't walk off the field.
Right. That's the other thing. Yes.
Some players stayed on, including captain Sadio Mane.
Best in the world.
And I'm sorry. If Morocco could have at that moment said, hey, we're just going to take this win and go home, that would have been fair too. We would have been sitting here calling Morocco champs. It's not our fault Brahim Diaz missed his PK.
That's true. The other thing is, I kind of feel like, so CAF had probably all their leadership in the building. This rule was just found in the book. You know what I mean? Like, this feels like a rule that people should know and should have enforced in the moment.
They didn't even want to. If you look back and look at the trophy presentation, they didn't even want to hand over the trophy to Senegal. That's how much they wanted Morocco to win.
Right.
So,
It's just, but that's my point. I feel like that would have been the opportune time to be like whether, I don't know if the rule says every player has to walk off the field or if it's majority of the team, whatever, right? Like, I guess my point is, if they wanted Morocco to win so bad, wouldn't have that been the opportune time to just be like, oh, you guys forfeit. All right, Morocco wins. That's kind of my point, I guess. And I know in the moment no one's really thinking about that,
but also at the same time, if somebody breaks their leg on the field, the 10 other players aren't just going to stand around on the field kicking a ball around. They're going to go off the field. Right?
Right.
Like, they're going to go outside the lines of the pitch to, like, get water, like, discuss the game plan, and whatever else. So, I don't think it's value. Like, I don't think it shouldn't have counted.
What part shouldn't have counted?
Like in terms of,
Lake's your new word.
You shouldn't have said that either. You shouldn't have said that either, Ethan. I'm trying my hardest.
You weren't even saying like before.
Don't use like or Don't use like or
You like what?
I'm reminding myself not to use those two words.
Okay.
I lost my train of thought.
Brother froze.
Okay.
You said it shouldn't have counted. I'm saying what part shouldn't have counted?
That they I want to use the like.
Well, it's a word. You're allowed to use it.
Mm.
He's like actually like struggling. I've never seen someone struggle like this. Spit it out.
It shouldn't matter if they walk off the pitch or not to forfeit them.
Okay.
What should matter is if the rule is in place and Morocco didn't specify that they wanted the win right then and there, Senegal's win counts.
Okay. I'm going to try to see if I can find the code real quick. I'm just curious to see if the wording is a certain amount of players, majority, what it is. A couple of the articles I've read that are not from, say, Morocco, the CA, or just from like ESPN people have said it's technically the right decision, but it should have been enforced, during the game instead of after.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, unfortunately. Long story short, this whole thing is just ridiculous. That probably made you feel a certain way, me saying that. That being said, it's all ridiculous. It does add to the fun of AFCON, but like afterwards, not so much. Like Senegal were champions. Everyone was happy for Senegal. Like, you now just ruin all that. But at the same time, Louisville, you take the banner down for what, Louisville College basketball, Rick Pitino. Can't take back those memories. Can't take back that parade. Can't take back
Kevin Ware's broken leg.
No, I wish we could. Is that funny, Owen? Compound injuries make you giggle.
I'm literally grimacing.
Yeah.
The the video just popped in my head, and I get such a visceral reaction.
Kevin Ware is Pooch's cousin. Ruined his whole basketball career.
That sucks.
Because of that, Pooch is now doing a podcast at 27 years old.
And struggling.
And struggling with words. Poor Pooch, man. He doesn't deserve this. He's a good guy. Pooch got me to take off my shift at work tomorrow to go drink with him. Very impressive from Pooch. That's coaching. Also, just talking about Pooch, I had a call with some fraternity brothers today, and one of them said, "Oh, I saw Pooch this weekend." He just kept saying, "Well, that's baseball." Enough, man. Enough. Why is that's a hard one for you, like, not to say, but that's baseball is whatever. You're a good guy, Pooch. He's gone remote silent, blood froze. Oh, and you've done horrible things.
I feel so bad.
Let's move on to the next point here. Quick news, Ricardo Pepi to Fulham is officially completed. So that'll be exciting seeing him in the Prem next year.
I am over the moon about that signing, by the way.
Yeah, let's break it down.
I just really enjoy the fact that there's going to be another American striker at Fulham.
Yeah.
Clint Dempsey, I believe Landon Donovan had a small stint there.
Did he? He was definitely at Everton and United.
Donovan?
He might have been. I don't know.
Man United?
I thought so. No, he was at Everton. He never went to United. He also never was at Fulham.
Okay. There's another American that played on those teams that was also at Fulham, but we've had the likes of Tim Ream there, Antoine Robinson. There was another person
Brian
that I'm
McBride.
thinking of. Brian McBride might be the one who
That's who I think you were thinking of. Did we have a goalie there? Or were they all Spurs players?
Friedel, maybe?
Casey
Maybe
Keller
not.
was there.
Casey Keller.
Carlos Bocanegra, Eddie Lewis, Eddie Johnson, Luca De La Torre.
A decent amount of Americans at Fulham. So I appreciate Pepe going there, and I think it's a good fit because he has the vibe of a mid-table Premier League striker.
Yeah.
And that's the most mid-table Premier League striker team to go to.
Okay. I agree with you. I'd love to see what Anthony Robinson does moving forward in his career. I think, obviously, last year he was a lot better. He got hurt. This year he hasn't been the same. I don't even know if he's come back.
Can I say something about Robinson?
Sure.
I think
you talk with a little energy.
I'm trying to think. You guys are asking me to do so much tonight. I'm being told don't use the word don't use the word like, speak with energy. If you want energy, you're gonna get a lot of ums and likes in there.
Those are like the most basic parts of just being on a podcast.
I'm trying my best. This was delivered to me 5 minutes before it started.
Not even, like 30 seconds.
If I got more of a heads up that this was coming my way, I would have prepared. I literally would have done some sort of homework, and
I'll start writing letters of all my criticisms to you guys.
I would enjoy that.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I really am sorry. Pooch.
Anthony Robinson. That's where we left off.
Anthony Robinson. Okay. And you want to know what? Now I'm going to speak with passion, with energy, with vision.
Good.
And Owen, you're going to get a lot of ums. Ethan, you're going to get a lot of likes. Fuck it. I don't care.
Good
double
boy.
birds. That's hurting my shoulder, and I'm double birding. Anthony Robinson is one of the top 5 to top 7 fullbacks in the Premier League, but I think his time is past in terms of moving to a different club. I think last year was his time. I think his value was the highest. The year before, he had a ton of value too. I don't see him moving to a big club anymore. Now, maybe a Liverpool comes in because they say Kirkes didn't work out or Frimpong isn't a fullback. But with that being said, they just put so much money into that squad, and I don't see them recuperating a lot this summer. City, I don't think want him. Arsenal won't need him. Tottenham will want him. So maybe Tottenham, but I don't know if he does that. United won't want him. And there's another big 6 club that I'm forgetting, probably because they're actually small. And I just remembered who they were, so I'm not going to say it.
Who was it?
They won't want him either.
Who was it?
Chelsea.
See, but why wouldn't you say that? Are you scared of them?
No, because at the time I forgot that Chelsea was a big 6 club. And then as I said it, I was like, now I remember them. So I'm speaking my thoughts out loud. That way, I don't think about my words. And now you see how much better it gets because I'm not thinking about words. Anyway, back to the point. I think Robinson's time in terms of moving to a Big Six club in England is past. I think basically this summer after the World Cup, if he has a good World Cup, it's either going abroad to a different country and playing for a big club there,
Mm.
or staying at Fulham for the rest of his career until he moves to the US and plays for Charlotte FC like Tim Ream.
Okay. I guess my point here is when we talk about a big club overseas, where's he going? Because if you're telling me the Big Six don't want him, what
I
big
could see him
club
going
would
to a
want him?
Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I mean, he would be a good
Like,
rotation with
I could see
Bayern.
him going to
not Bayern,
Italy,
okay,
like an Inter Milan. They're super old.
that's true.
Inject a little bit of youth there. AC Milan, they just got a Stupinian, I think left side. So I guess they do kind of play the same position. But I could see him going to like an Italian, like a Juve with Weston McKennie,
Yeah,
and or like a Bayern Munich, where they always seem to kind of get these type of players where it is like they're good, but then they make them great because they play in a farmers league.
okay, that's fair. We'll have to keep an eye out, but good to see Pepe gets his move to Fulham. It'll be exciting to watch him in the Prem next year and not go into like a rival of anybody. So that's kind of nice that where you could kind of just support him. Doesn't feel like you're
Mhm.
rooting, for an enemy. Moving on to more U.S. men's national team news. Some news came out here about Jesse Marsh. Jesse Marsh told Ben Jacobs that he was actually, back in 2022, he was actually offered the U.S. men's national team job while he was, I guess, in the process of becoming the Leicester City coach. He was literally there at their facility getting fingerprinted for a visa, got a call. He then withdrew himself from the Leicester City job, only for the U.S. to decide they were going to go back and run it back again, for those who remember, with Greg Berhalter. I feel like the U.S. did this man very dirty. I feel like now knowing some of what was going on in the background makes the Greg Berhalter decision even crazier. Pooch, what do we think here?
I think he'll take the job once the current sporting director leaves.
Okay. You said that he was the former Southampton guy. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's why Poch got the job because he was the one that hired Poch at Southampton.
I
So
did not know
that's
that.
why those two they go
They're
way
connected.
back. Yeah. So once those higher ups leave U.S. Soccer, I wouldn't be shocked if Marsh comes back from the reindeer capital of the world.
Yeah, just a very weird story, but also just shows a lot of the incompetence I feel like that was going on, especially back then, a couple years back with U.S. Soccer. I mean, I'd argue probably still, but under the Berhalter era. I like Jesse Marsh a lot. I think he's going to one of my dark horses for this World Cup, not to win anything, but to probably go further than expected, is Canada, because I kind of like his principles. And I know Pooch, you'd say no, that's okay. It's
I
like,
think they lose in the round of 32.
okay, would that not be a success for them? Canada
It would not be a success
would be a
because
success.
we'd beat them in the round of 32. Because if they finish second in their group and we finish first in ours, we play in the round of 32 against them.
I'm petrified we're not even going to make it out of our group.
If we're gonna make it out of the group,
No, I'm sure we will. But let's kind of keep this thing rolling here. So with the upcoming international break, national team squad call-ups have been announced for the U.S. Majority of it was pretty standard. A couple of guys were out due to injuries, so they weren't called up. A couple of notes to make here, at least in my eyes. Gio Reyna included, which is nice. He's obviously one of the more talented players for the U.S. group. Yunus Musa was dropped. He, I guess, has not been on great form at the club level, and I guess Poch is not the biggest fan of him. Just sad. I remember when we got Musa, when he committed to us, like how big a deal that was. So hopefully he regains that form in the next, 3 months. Noah Kai Banks. So this guy's name has just been popping up like crazy recently. He's a young, I think he's like 16, 17. He's a young defender who has dual nationality with the United States men's national team in Germany. He's in the process right now of deciding which path. I would really like him to be a U.S. international. It's always good when we get those guys. It seems like he might be leaning the other way. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what I even want to see from this team from Poch, since it's not our full roster. I know like Tyler Adams is out hurt. someone else big was out here. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head, but I would really like just to see a team that gets me like kind of excited for the World Cup. And the past couple of camps and not training sessions, but matches have not inspired me. Any notes there, Poochie Man?
I have a bigger note on just they play too much football in general.
Okay.
So I wish that they would still keep these breaks in there, but have it breaks in actual footy.
Like what is it? Over the
Nobody
holidays.
plays. Yeah,
In Spain,
something
they do
like
like a
that.
week off during Christmas.
I think every single country in Europe, basically, beside like the big ones, do that except England.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously become way too crammed. And I don't really Champions League, all good. Domestic cups, I get it. But a lot of these international friendlies and stuff, I totally agree with you. It's very frustrating.
Nations League.
Yeah. And I mean, that
Like-
was a way to make it better for us. And it has made it better for us that these games have value. But as a player, you're like, oh, okay, another game that means something. At least I'll play harder. But you're also like, that doesn't really solve the problem. My problem wasn't the fact
Yeah.
that this game didn't mean anything. The problem is I have to play again when I probably could
Yeah.
use the rest of my legs when I'm playing 60 games in a year and then have to play potentially another 5 to 10 in an international tournament and then come back, get a 2-week vacation. Then I'm back in 2 weeks to train for preseason.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that Brazil and France are actually doing friendlies in the US. So that's a big thing right now for Arsenal fans is sitting there and saying like, "Oh man, our two starting center backs as we're going for a quad currently have to travel all the way to America to play in a BS friendly." And I'm trying to find right now if
You
they
mentioned
actually are doing like it in America or I got because I started thinking about it. They are playing at Gillette in 7
should go.
days. Brazil,
You're a Pats fan.
France. It's okay. Um,
Wow, hater.
yeah, Brazil has 2 friendlies in the US. France probably will as well. But yeah, I just don't see the need. Like, I mean, right now, maybe it makes sense to have friendlies when the World Cup's right around the corner. But it used to be you get the World Cup every 4 years where you're playing in the summer, and then your regional tournament every 2 in between. And there's 2 summers where everybody basically gets off. Now it feels like those 2 summers where everybody got off, you have the Club World Cup in one of them, and then the Nations League final thing in the other. And it just feels super congested.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. On top of that, too, talking about Brazil, this is actually something I had written down. Neymar was not included. A lot of people have spoken up about that. A lot of, I think, Brazil fans and players who are Neymar fans have said, that he should be in the team no matter what.
He's gonna get in.
I think they'll probably throw him in at the end. And
I think he'll definitely make the World Cup roster. This could just be let's see what else we have in terms of uh additional players.
fully agree with you there. All right. Last bit of news I have here. La Liga will be doing retro kits for this weekend. Have you guys seen this?
No.
All right, so this is pretty cool. So I don't know when they announced this because it kind of came out of nowhere. All La Liga teams, I think, other than Barcelona and maybe Real Madrid, if not Real Madrid, it might be someone else, will be legitimately wearing a retro kit for this weekend's games. They're making it like a 1930 weekend or 1920s weekend, something like that, where all the teams will be wearing retro kits. It's supposed to, like, the score bugs will be retro. So it should be cool. Should be cool to tap in. They've released the jerseys today. Yes, Pooch.
Quick question. How do you make a score bug retro if you're doing a 1930s themed weekend and they didn't have TVs
How about
broadcasting
1960?
the games?
I think they're doing 1960.
When were score bugs invented? Because I feel like
I'll tell you right now.
In the 90s.
Mm.
It actually came to be during the 1994 World Cup.
Oh, okay.
So, Pooch, maybe you'll learn about that in your World Cup book.
Hopefully. I'm stuck on the 50s
It is 90s
right now.
based. Everything is 90s based.
Okay.
So the event will include 90s style Puma match balls, classic scoreboard designs, and specialized old school TV broadcast graphics. So it'll be 90s based. I'm sorry. Some of the jerseys look like they're from the 60s. So I wonder if that was part of it. But yeah, should be cool. Should be kind of fun. This feels very American. So, it's kind of just whatever. But I don't know. It's fun. I'm going to tune in. I wish Barca didn't throwback kit. I'm not sure why. I think maybe just contractual things with Nike. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see the Prem
You
do
guys
this.
are locked into that 360 with Nike, so
360.
yeah.
Shout out Charlie XCX.
Shout out Drewski.
What does any of that
360
mean?
deal. It's a 360.
I think one of you
been.
guys one day should do an opinion segment on the Americanization of national football.
That'll be for Pooch's other podcast where he just talks footy history.
It's, to be fair, I'm on episode 8 of that, but I'm pretty sure you guys just don't hit record, and you guys because you guys both just leave for about an hour and a half, and
Yes.
then I come back, you guys come back, and I go, all right, guys, I think that was a good episode. What do you guys think? And you guys both go, great, Pooch, great, 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 and then we just log off. But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't ever see the record button.
There's things that you don't need to worry about. You're not a
Okay.
producer. You're just a
Okay.
talker,
Okay.
Keep working
I'm
on
not good at that either. So
Pooch, can you give me 3 things you're very good at and 3 things you're not very good at?
3 things I can do the not good super quick.
Yeah, do what you're good at first.
3 things I'm good at. Retaining facts of things that I enjoy.
You're definitely good at that.
I'm good at going on long distance runs and not getting too worn out.
Okay. What's long distance to you?
6 or more miles.
Wow. Okay. That is certainly, yeah.
Nonstop. Just run, keep a good pace, and afterwards be 2 hours later, be I'm going to go for a 3-mile walk or something like that.
Okay.
Not getting too worn out after that. And then third thing would be set piece routines.
Yeah, you're pretty good at those. So fair enough. Okay, good. 3 things that Pooch is good at. If everyone just remember those, please. Alrighty, let's move in then to the UCL recap. All right, we are now going to move into a Champions League recap. Champions League round 2 here of, what was it, the Sweet 16? Awesome. Thank you for that, Pooch. Some really good action. My initial thoughts just of the round. All the games just kind of turned into blowouts. A few Barca Newcastle just turned into a blowout. That was supposed to be one of the better games. What was it? One of the other ones that just turned into an absolute blowout. Well, that was probably the best 2 legs, or the best matchup of the round. Oh, Chelsea and PSG, blowout. City de Madrid, blowout. So a little bit. Yeah, well, Bayern really blew them out, but at least Bayern in the first leg blew them out. I mean, any of the games that maybe had some life to them just imploded. And the only game that we saw any real action in was Bodo. I was going to start at the top here. Liverpool ends up beating Galatasaray, blowout, 4-0. So we got that one right. So that's one pick that we've gotten right here. Yeah, Liverpool just kind of overwhelmed them, and I think Galatasaray is probably a top 5 team in Europe at home. Really just not that good on the road.
I watched till Liverpool went up 3-0 in this game, and then I switched over to Tottenham. But Liverpool, Galatasaray, it's the same thing with Bodo, which we'll get to, where they played the exact same footy that they did in the Juve game, where it's basically we're up 1-0 away. We're just going to sit back and pray to God that they don't score on us. And it against a Liverpool team, where defense is kind of shaky for them, not too bad, but still shaky, but their attack is their strong suit, you shouldn't sit back. Like, Osimhen got hurt, in the first half. He still played most of the game, but, like, he got hurt. Like, it's like that they basically were, like, their game plan was, "We're not really gonna counterattack, but what we're gonna do is hoof the ball up to Osimhen against Van Dijk and Konate and hope that he can beat them and score a goal and make us go up 2-0," which works against Juventus when you're going up against who? Like Lloyd Kelly and Bremer.
Yeah,
But
not
when you're
very good
going up
UA team.
against when you're going up against Konate and Van Dyke, it's like it's not gonna work blood. So I just think Liverpool showed their class and overpowered them.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly there. Galatasaray's a decent squad, but like you said, Osimhen getting hurt, and then on top of it, this was a game that they needed to, I think, probably needed to have scored first and put all the pressure on Liverpool. And the fact that they didn't, it just put, like, they're not really a comeback team, it feels like.
No.
So yeah, is what it is there. So we both guessed Liverpool on this. We both got that right. Bayern just demolished Atalanta. I don't
Yeah.
really. First off, Kane's goal was ridiculous. Like the kind of like little footwork, then turn and just put it top bins. Just ridiculous. Yeah, but Bayern beat them 10-2 on aggregate. Crazy. So we were right on 2 there. Spurs, a valiant effort against Atalanta, against Atletico. They end up winning the game 3-2, but falling 4-7 on aggregate. If Xavi Simons hits his pen, a couple of other moments. There was a point where I think Tell took a shot when he had like 2 guys standing wide open in the box. Some of those little moments, maybe it's a little bit different. We both got this wrong. The Spurs let us down, but there was more fight there, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I was gonna say this Spurs team. I mean, you get Udogie back, Bergvall's coming back. Like some of the players that are coming back, like you guys don't look too bad. I thought you guys played well. You guys played with heart, and I think that's all Tudor can ask for at this point
Yeah.
is just play for the badge. And if you're not going to play for the badge, play for some pride.
Yep.
I also think, as I was watching, like, and it was, I think when I was it was 2-1 Tottenham or 2-2. And I thought it would be the most Atletico thing to literally have basically the same exact lead that they had on Barca a few weeks back in the Copa
Yeah.
del Rey and just implode even more than they did then, and lose. Like that would be that would be so funny of Simeone to do that. But they didn't. So I think it works out for you, Ethan, because you don't have to choose between your
Correct.
kids. Who's your favorite? That's honestly, if I'm being honest, that's the main reason I picked Spurs in this.
Okay.
Was because I wanted you to choose one over the other so that could hold that over you for the rest of your life, being like, "Oh, Ethan picked Barcelona. He's not actually a Tottenham fan." So then anytime you're with the boys and you're talking about Tottenham playing a 4-2-4 and why the current Cesc Fabregas style doesn't work for them, I could be like, what are you talking about? You're not even a Tottenham fan," and just rip into you that way. But it didn't, so I guess I'll just have to wait for another 5 years when you guys get back in the Champions League.
Interesting. It sounds like there's some resentment there and something that has been bothering you deep down. But you're right. That was something that was a worry for me, was who would I root for? And the decision would always have been Barca there.
I
But
know.
that being said, it's always better when you don't have to pick and think about it. And now we get to beat Atletico, which will be fun. Arsenal, they handled Leverkusen 2-0, 3-1 on aggregate here. We had both predicted Arsenal. Are you a little bit worried that of all the big teams that won this weekend, you guys seem to struggle with arguably one of the easier opponents here?
I think Leverkusen's an easy opponent. They had a great game plan against us. And I also think we played a very suffocating style of football against them, where once again, they didn't really have any clear-cut chances. Once we put in the first goal, it felt like maybe a weight had been lifted off a bit. The
Yeah.
thing is, with the way that certain teams play against us, Eze is so important because he's so creative.
Yep.
Like Odegaard in that situation would have looked to back pass to Zubamendi for that goal
Right.
instead of just turning and banging one top bins. Like that's what we needed the last few seasons where we haven't been able to get it over the line. Somebody to kind of just cause that chaos / unpredictability, and him coming in and doing something like that, it has actually raised us a little bit because defenders will now be like, I remember him hitting that. Let me lock him down. And then it opens up a passing lane if he passes back to Asaka or Gyökeres to run in. I'm more concerned about the Sporting game because we do have history of not playing well against the Portuguese sides. But I don't think through the two legs, it looks 3-1 considering all the other teams just destroyed their opponent. It doesn't look great, but I would rather win 3-1 on aggregate than 10-2 like Munich did and skate by.
Okay, that's a take.
You don't get it's like if your NFL team is undefeated, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, oh, we're winning, and then you get to the playoffs first game and you lose. You're like, that season was worthless. Like, sometimes they talk about it all the time in sports. Sometimes it's good to lose a game in between there so that like you can so for example, Patriots this year, they went on a 10-game win streak in the middle of the year, and then they were up 20 something on the Bills and ended up losing. And all the players at the Super Bowl were like, that was the turning point of the season because they were like, we could lose at any time. Well, I'm just saying it as a fact. I'm not trying to get into an argument.
It's good that you guys, you're right. It's good that this was the round that you guys really struggled a bit because you don't have tough teams coming up down the road in the Champions League.
Well, if we won 10-2 and then at Sporting we win 8-0 on aggregate and then we play Barcelona.
Yeah.
Like, would you rather be Bayern Munich and win 10-2 and then you have to go to Real Madrid and play like those guys? No,
Probably.
seriously though. Those guys though, like Bayern Munich, they play FC Heidelberg like every single week, and it's like they're not getting the competition, but Real Madrid have to play tough teams week in, week out. They have to play the future Europa League winner Celta Vigo. Like,
all right, you're winning me back here with some
like
praise, so.
it's no, but
you
it's
can
true.
Waffle,
Like,
okay, I'll allow it.
I'm not waffling. I'm just saying, like,
just stand on business.
That's what I am doing. What do you want me to do?
Just rage baiting you.
I know, it's actually working, oddly enough.
You're good though, bro. You're right. Arsenal, they won the game. That's all that matters. That's all. Yeah. Going back to your Eze point, you are incredibly like, what is it? On the ball there.
I know I'm incredible. Oh, okay, yeah. Never mind.
Or like, that being said, Barca is very similar with a guy like Danny Olmo, where he's not right for every game, but there are games where teams sit in low blocks where he's awesome because he's really good in the half spaces, and he could just turn and rip a shot, and now you're up 1-0. And worse, versus some other players back in the day, maybe when Barca, especially in some of those rougher years, where they'll outpossess you, but they didn't always have someone that was super creative through those spaces and that can just pick the lock. So a player like Eze is always good, where maybe he's not the right fit for every single game, but when you do have some of those nights, he'll look like the best player in the world, right? Because he just comes up with some magic. So that Eze goal was ridiculous. He's in great form. Whatever.
Did you see the Rice goal? Not just the ball path, the curve that it took.
Yeah.
That to me in general, like I'm not doing like a pro Arsenal thing. I'm just saying the ball in general, that would be a dream to be able to hit a ball that nice from like 30 yards out where you can spin it enough to just have it break like 10 yards before the net and curve in.
You can't do that?
Brother, I've seen you kick a ball.
Okay. Wow.
You can do that. You can do that from 10 to 15 yards out. I know you can, but 30 yards out, with like a guy in your face pause.
Yo.
Like, no way you're doing that.
All right, I'll see you when spring league starts. Just know I'm pulling from 30 yards out. All right. Owen knows the co-zone. You don't want to get stuck in the co-zone because that's our pro club saying. When I'm in the co-zone about 30 yards out, just know I'm shooting. That's it. Yeah, so let's talk about probably the best tie here of the round. Sporting, make me eat my words. They come back versus Bodo 5-0. Well, they win 5-0 on aggregate. It finishes 5-3. This was frustrating. I only caught extra time of this game, essentially, maybe a couple minutes before extra time. I don't know. I forget what player it was. I think he's number 4, number 5, Bodo center back. That guy is ass. He is ass, booty cheeks, bad. Dookie, Kaká, not Ricardo, but Dookie. This is a team that I've obviously backed through this. I thought Arsenal were going to have a hard time against Bodo Glimt, obviously. And I don't really know what happened here. Like, it looked like they just all forgot their tactics and how to play. I know that at some point, I looked back at the game, they made a large sub, like they subbed a decent amount of players off. And I wonder if that's partially because, that also lost some chemistry on the field. I'm not sure. But they couldn't even connect. Like, they couldn't even build out of the back. They were like kicking the ball up the field and kicking out of bounds or just kicking it right back to Sporting. Yeah, very disappointing. They very, very looked out of their depth.
Yeah.
Shout out Sporting, I guess.
So it's good that you mentioned the extra time because I watched the first 90 minutes, not the extra time, because Arsenal started playing. But before I get into that, that's the second episode of in a row you're having 11 men make you eat your words. Wild. Could not be me. Just wanted to point that out.
Okay.
But their game plan was basically the same game plan that they had for Inter, where it's sit back. If we get the counter, we'll go on it, but just absorb the pressure and then see what we can do on the attack. We don't have to be aggressive or anything. And it worked for Inter because Inter could not finish a chance.
Yeah.
But Sporting were able to finish most of their chances. And honestly, Sporting could have won that game in the first 40 minutes, like the first half, if they really wanted to. In the first 15, 20 minutes, they may have had 4 or 5 clear-cut chances and only converted one of them.
Do you want to hear their numbers real quick? Because I think it'll help your point. So this was obviously for the entire game. Actually, let me just do the first half. First half, Sporting had 15 total shots, 5 on target, 5 big chances, 4 missed. I think they went to halftime 1-0. Yeah. They
XG? Can we get XG? XG, please?
Yes, XG 1.2. 1.2 XG. Good call there, O. They'd only scored 1 goal, but 74%.
What did I do to you? What did I do to you?
Yeah, this is crazy. Wait. That is crazy. What did Pooch do to you?
What did I do to you?
How was that an attack on Pooch?
He's the one that doesn't understand XG.
You know I can't understand XG.
I wanted to hear it as someone who does understand XG.
Someone who does. Let me give you the...
It helps. It's a synthesis of all those shot on target stats, Pooch. So as a football fan, I just wanted to hear the XG so I could really understand how Sporting was attacking in that half.
You think Pooch knows what synthesis means?
Yeah, it's when plants get sunlight.
Wait, that was pretty good. Good job, Pooch.
Also, I could tell towards the end of Owen's soliloquy that he was trying to make sure he did not say
You keep pointing. You keep pointing, which gets me.
Am I pointing right here? I'm pointing to Ethan.
Okay.
So when I point, I'm saying he said or like.
I'm cool to say that though.
I
have the pass.
I'm sorry. I keep derailing us. This is not like me.
Yeah, no. You wanted this episode to be over already. Oh
my god. Yeah, guys. It's 9:20 right now, so I think I might just head out.
Okay. Hey, have a good one. Just 2 clips by tomorrow. Thank you. He didn't like that. Real quick, let's get back to the actual action. I'll give you the full stats. 66% possession. That's for the entire game. 3.78 expected goals. You're welcome, Owen. They had 38 shots with 14 shots on target and 9 big chances. So, I mean, compared to Bodo, who had 0.54 expected goals, 9 shots, 3 were on target, and 0 big chances the entire game. They did not show up to score goals. It was like a defensive drill, and they got absolutely destroyed. It was like watching JV girls versus varsity boys, and you're trying to run set pieces or something. Those girls cannot defend, brother. They cannot hang.
Guy like you at center back, you're going up and all the headers yours on that set piece.
I'm a striker.
I know, you're the Mikel Marino of soccer, of high school soccer.
Low key, I think I got to figure out what my player comp is. A lot of our buddy, friend of the podcast, Jev, always says that I remind him of like a 1940 soccer player. Because I don't really
know
move.
if you want that. Don't know if you want that comparison.
Well, I don't move super. I'm not the most agile, but I have decent. I probably look like Bobby Moore, or like Bobby Charlton, where it's like a lot of like L turns. I move slowly, low socks, and I'm balding. So I look like one of these 45-year-olds that was still balling out then. So that would probably be my real player comp. But I think I'm a combination of like Harry Kane, Andres Iniesta, but with the leadership of Sergio Ramos.
Nice. Yeah, I do think, going back to the game, that Sporting, or not Sporting, Bodo, in that Inter game, not only did Inter miss a ton of chances, but when push came to shove and they needed goals, they started just throwing the kitchen sink, leaving their like defense exposed. So with that, Bodo is able to kind of hit them on that counter. They never got to that point against Sporting, because Sporting, like you said, with the stats, were just piling the pressure on from so early that they weren't able to even get a look at Sporting throwing the kitchen sink at them.
Yeah, I'm with you. Just disappointing that was the way they went out. I don't know. If they went out to Arsenal or something, you're like, all right, cool. But they went from like giant killers to just completely looking out of their depth. Not sure.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why I picked Sporting to win, because I had a feeling that Bodo would have boded well against a bigger club compared to a Sporting where it's like
that are hungry.
Sporting isn't scared of Bodo.
All right. Let's move on. This one was an awesome one. Chelsea lose to PSG 3-0. Meta, find me job postings for this summer. Ring, ring. Hello? Hi, my name's Liam. I'd like to coach with Pooch and be his set piece coach for the class's permanent spring team. I'm in need of a bit of work. Yeah, no problem, Liam. Yeah, they got run over. PSG just kind of look. Oh, yep, Pooch.
Meta, make Kvaratskhelia Mexican and 250 pounds.
Make Kvaratskhelia torta. Okay. Pooch loves tortas. Look at him.
Tortas are the best.
They're the best. Tortas and studs, right, Pooch?
A torta. Oh, I can't do that one. Okay.
Oh.
Actually, I couldn't top. I couldn't. No, I couldn't think of anything funny after you said torta. After you said torta, I was like, oh, I can't top that.
Pooch, low-key, you could be a torta. Nah, I'm just playing.
Es un baseball.
Whatever. Chelsea get ran over here by PSG 3-0. They lose on aggregate 8-2. I didn't really have many notes from this game. It just kind of felt like Chelsea again. Kind of similar to Bodo, we're just a little bit out of their depth. PSG were on it. Chelsea really weren't. But for PSG, we both took Chelsea to win this tie. So fairs to PSG, they kind of woke up and they are starting to look dangerous.
Mm-hmm. I think Chelsea is starting to fall into their banter era because of the main reason of their club's best players' celebrations are getting put on their head top at these games. Barcola did the Drogba on their head. They just don't. Chelsea just don't. They're doing the stupid respect the ball thing, which is that's why
What?
they do it. That's why they circle the ball before
Okay.
the Reece James came out and he was like, "It's because we're trying to respect the ball. It's we're showing love to the ball." And it's like that's something like Aubameyang and Lacazette would have made up during Arsenal's banter years, where they're like doing something stupid like that. Like it's so
Arteta with the light
performative and
bulb.
stupid. Arteta with the light bulb. You can add that. That was still during our banter years. So I'm okay with you saying that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think PSG, I mean, I have thoughts on their next round. But we're not talking about the next round right now. I just think Chelsea need to reevaluate. I mean, we didn't even touch on Enzo Fernandez after the game coming
Yep.
out and basically saying he's gonna try and leave somehow.
Yeah.
So
And he was wearing the
I
captain
could
armband, so
yeah,
yikes.
like to have your captain come out and say that is kind of
Yikes.
bantery. So you have that. You also have Cole Palmer, I think, is going to leave this summer.
Probably Manchester. He's
yeah,
homesick. We were talking
yeah.
about that. Yeah. We were on that. Inside sources.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it their banter hour, but they are definitely in an interesting position right now. And I think when you have this many players at the club, it also puts you in a weird position because I don't know, man. We're always going to come back to this, but if you have like 22 players at the club, you kind of have an idea who your starting 11 is. You know exactly who your bench is. And like, if you need to improve something, you know exactly where to improve. Right now, if I'm Chelsea, it's like, all right, like we need to improve, I don't know, our defense. We have like 6 center backs sitting there. So like, how do you rotate through the 6? You know what I mean? And figure out like, oh, are any of these guys up to par? And I guess that's part of the gaffer's job in practice. I don't know though. Not for me, not my style. I
Yeah.
just like to promote the youth. Speaking about promoting the youth, I skipped this game. Barcelona thump Newcastle 7-2, and they win the tie 8-3 on aggregate. I somehow missed the first 4 goals. I was driving home from my job for Rafinha's first goal. I heard it in the car. I then came inside, turned on the game, and decided to go make myself some lunch. I was a hungry boy. I then missed the next 3 goals. When I got back down to the couch, it was the score was 2-2. I saw from there. We can talk about how Barca played well because they did. Let's just talk about Newcastle's defending. Ass. I've never seen it look like a training drill, like I said earlier with Bodo. Like it just looked like a training drill on transitioning and like a Barca transitioning from a defense to attack. It would just be like they'd pick up the ball and you had 4 runners and Newcastle were just backtracking. And I don't think Dan Burn has ever seen someone like Lamine Yamal in his life. I don't think he has ever had to deal with that. Other than that, good win for the club. Premier League had a very, very difficult weekend. Midweek. Man City fall to Madrid 2-1, finishes 5-1 on aggregate. They didn't look like they were up for that game whatsoever. They look like they're, yeah.
Bernardo Silva gets a red 20 minutes in.
Yeah, that was when the game ended, officially ended. And then even Courtois is out, and he picked up an injury, so he'll be out the next 6 weeks. That's going to be tricky for them. They have a decent amount of injuries. Mbappe is still trying to get himself healthy, but they probably want to monitor that for the World Cup. I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't know, but do you have any thoughts on either one of these games? Puch, Madrid, Bayern? Are we ready to make predictions about the next round?
We can make predictions about the next round.
Let's do it then. Next round, we will have Liverpool versus PSG, Bayern versus Real Madrid, Barca versus Atletico Madrid, and then Arsenal versus Sporting. Do we want to make predictions or do we want to talk about our favorite matchups, things like that? What do you want?
We could talk about favorite matchups.
Yeah,
and then
we'll make predictions when we get closer.
When it comes to, I think my favorite matchup is going to be Barcelona, Atletico Madrid.
Wow.
To watch over 2 legs. I think that'll be a really good one. To be fair, all are really good.
Right.
I think the one with the most upset potential, if you can even call it that, would be Liverpool over PSG. In the sense of Liverpool are 6th, I think, right now in the Prem, and PSG is obviously top of La Liga, or not La Liga, sorry, Ligue 1.
Ligue 1.
So I think that one has the most upset potential there. So yeah, those would kind of be my two.
Yeah, I think best fixture in my eyes, I think Liverpool versus PSG is going to be the best because I think both teams can score. And you never know which they remind me of each other. I don't know which version of either team I'm going to get. On both of their days, they may be the best team in the world, but on other days, you're like, ooh, they're not that good. I think that was the biggest upset. So this is going to be interesting. I think the biggest upset potential is Real Madrid over Bayern. And the reason I say that is Real Madrid beating Man City. I know it's like, oh, Real Madrid are historically a big club. Real Madrid are like really struggling right now. They don't really have a tactical identity. Like they should be kind of picked apart by a bigger team. And it feels like they're going on one of those like just crazy runs where they somehow find a way, despite you looking back and be like, they're not really that good. They're struggling in La Liga against La Liga teams. I think Bayern are far and away. Like I think the big three in this year's Champions League are Bayern, Barca, Arsenal. A step below that's PSG. A step below that's probably Real Madrid, and then a step maybe below that or on the same levels like Liverpool and then Atleti. Those. I would be very, very, very shocked if Real Madrid upset Bayern. That's kind of my point. Here's the thing. I get what you're saying with the Liverpool PSG. I just like that to me, like this is a decent Liverpool team that maybe in the league aren't on their best form, but they're decent. This Bayern Real Madrid team, like Bayern are just at such a level right now that for them to get upset would be almost more of an indictment of them, because they're playing at such a high level. They're arguably probably the best team in Europe at the moment. I mean, I'm obviously going to back Barca, but probably one of the more complete teams from attack to defense, and they were peaking at the right time. But that's why you play the games. That's why you play the matchups. Who knows? You could have a semifinal that's Real Madrid versus Liverpool, Atletico Madrid versus Sporting. And would that really shock everyone? It'd obviously be an upset, but I don't think it would blow up the internet. Real quick, we'll move through the Europa League before we get into bracketology. Pooch, not a good week to be a Roma fan. Roma lose to Bologna 4-3. Bologna advance 5-4 on aggregate. Give me 10 seconds here, Pooch.
Yeah, no, I just don't think that we're in the best spot right now. We have a lot of injuries in attack, and that does not help us. So,
okay, fair enough. Aston Villa beat Lille 2-0. They advance. They go through 3-0 on aggregate. Lyon fall to Celta Vigo today, our Celestes. 2-0 on aggregate. That finished 3-1. And then FC Midtjylland, they lost to Nottingham Forest 2-1. Forest end up advancing on PKs. Another piece of news that came out today, Crystal Palace advanced versus whatever the hell their team they were playing against.
Yep.
I don't even know the team's name. I don't even know what country it's from. They almost did not get through that. Crazy. But thought I would just share that. Are we ready to move, fellas, into bracketology?
Yep, let's do it.
Alrighty, everybody's new favorite segment. Welcome to bracketology. Have another great March Madness bracket here. The theme this week, or this episode, I should say, will be form is temporary. These are some of the most notable, some of the biggest one-season wonders of all time. I think we've kept it relatively modern. Before I go any further, I'm going to let Owen break down some of the seeding, some of the players, and then we'll jump in.
Yeah, kept the same format as last week. So I guess I'll run down these matchups here. At the 1 seed in the West, we have Michu for his Swansea 2012-13 season against Bojan Krikic. How do you say that?
Yeah, that's always been a tough one. I don't know. Barca fans just call him Bojan, the young academy player that never made it big.
Yeah, his Barca 2007 season. Below that, we have Barrinho versus Van de Beek. We have, hold on, I'm forgetting. We have a Spurs legend here, Janssen versus Jovic. Then Silimani versus Ramirez.
Some of these names are crazy. Just hearing them back, like it is so crazy. Like Luka Jovic, oh my God.
It was fun to look at these guys' stats too. Going back, whatever. I'll let you guys get into the fun stuff. We have Cisse at the 1 seed and the other side against Clint Dempsey. Now, a couple websites had Dempsey listed as a 1-season wonder. Obviously, a little bias here. I did not feel that way. Okay. So I included him here as an 8 seed to maybe birth some interesting discussion. Below that, we have Alberto versus Guisa is the 3 versus 6. Stephen Ireland at number 4 versus Grafite at the 5th seed.
Okay.
And then the Russian GOAT, Arshavin versus Payet.
Okay. Oh, you're pro Russia?
No, I didn't say that.
Said Russian goat, but okay. Pooch, where do we want to start here? I think we start over in the West. We start Michu versus Bojan.
Yeah. I do think some of these are going to be so easy to pick. And Michu's probably my 1-1.
I was going to say, I think Michu has a very easy run here. On a run to, I guess at this point, this would be the quarterfinals. Or, I'm sorry, the semifinal. No, the quarters. For those that don't know Michu, maybe I should read through some stats.
Why not?
So what season was this, Owen? You have it in front of you.
12-13.
Okay. 2012, 2013. Scored 22 goals in all competitions for Swansea, with 18 coming in the Premier League. Afterwards, and I'll just give some stats afterwards, because part of being a one-season wonder, right? Part of this was not just players that had one good season, but also, like, I think a pretty bad fall-off after that, give or take. Michu, I'm trying to find his full all seasons. Transfermarket.com is taking forever. Yeah, just to give you some perspective. He had 2 seasons in his career. He had in 11-12, so the season before this season, he had 15 goals in La Liga for Rayo Vallecano. He then went to the Premier League and had 18 goals. The following season, he had 2 Premier League goals. He then didn't score a goal again for another 3 years until he was in the 2nd division of Spain, where he scored with Oviedo. He scored some goals in some different cup competitions, but this dude literally had 2 seasons where he scored double-digit goals, other than, I think this is when he was a kid, 2AB Grupo Uno for Celta Vigo. He had 10 goals. My point being here is in the professional level, this dude did nothing. Played in a bunch of different random clubs. But, yeah, I mean, this is... He had one of the most iconic celebrations. The little ear turn, I don't even know what you'd call that. We call it the crazy loco back at Seton Hall for those. Yeah, Michu's going to have a very easy run, I think, here. Pooch, where do you want to start next? You want to move next to the next matchup? Sadio Berahino, West Brom 2014-2015 versus Donny van de Beek. Ajax.
Yeah, and I think I see an upset. Donny van de Beek, to me, like, I'm not going so much off stats, but more so vibes of some of these guys that I remember, like, growing up and stuff like that. And that 18-19 Van de Beek, people were putting him in, like, top 5 midfielder in the world conversations. Like, he went nuts, and he also had 30 goal contributions that year, which is crazy because then you look at the rest of his career, and I don't even know if he had that amount throughout the rest of his career combined. Yeah, he had 10 goals the following year, and then legitimately 1, 2, 3, so 13, 14, 15, 16. He had 16 plus 4, 20 goal contributions over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, where's he even
So
playing
in
right now?
Girona, he's hurt.
Okay. Oh, that is right.
So I think that year, like, literally, Man U spent how much money on him because of that one season.
Yeah.
So I do think I see an upset there, and Van de Beek should go through.
Taking a look here. Berahino really did only have 1 season. Other than that, he has done nothing in his career. But I will give you this one here because I like what you're saying. I think the hype adds to the one season wonder. And if someone spends a big fee on you, that can hurt you. So I like that. The 6th seed knocking off the 3 there with a little bit of an upset. Again, I don't really think it matters who we take there because I don't know who's going to get through Michu. Moving on to a bit below that, we have Victor Janssen, AZ Alkmaar, 2015-2016 versus the 5 seed, Luka Jovic, Frankfurt, 2018-2019. I personally, in a second, would go Luka Jovic. I remember this guy, and I remember him signing for Madrid and being upset because I wanted him to sign for Barcelona. And then I forgot he existed until Owen just put this back up in front of me. Like, forgot he existed. Victor Janssen or Vince. It's actually Vincent Janssen, which goes to show how much of an impact he had. He was ass for Tottenham, and I think that was the transfer. Yeah, that would have been his probably big move. Owen after Alkmaar. Yeah, I mean he was asked too, but again, I just go back to the fee probably for Luka Jovic and the fact that he has done nothing in his career since Frankfurt. I think part of that may have not been fully his fault, but yeah, for Frankfurt in 75 appearances, he had 36 goals. The rest of his career, I don't know if he has 36 goals. No, he definitely does. He plays for Athens.
And I also think with Jovic, it's he not only had such a fee going to Madrid, but the hype around him was he has the build of the next Lewandowski. He is the build of the next greatest striker.
60 mil, man.
And on top of that, they were already putting him after that 1 year at Frankfurt, once again, like Van de Beek, into like top 5 striker in the world conversations, like off 1 year. So I
Frankfurt
agree.
scammed him.
I think Jovic has to go through.
Frankfurt scammed him. 60 mil, man. 60 mil. Yeah, we're going to go Jovic there. All right. What's this guy's first name? Ismail Slimani. Sporting. Sporting. Is our number 2 seed here. Is 2015-2016 season versus Sandro Ramirez from Malaga in 2016-17. Transparently, I've heard of Slimani. I have never heard of Ramirez. That doesn't mean that we have to argue one way or another. But this might be a spot where the 2 seed just kind of holds strong.
I will say, if you don't have the stats up, I will tell you that his first name is Islam, by the way.
Oh, Islam. I'm sorry.
2015-16, as part of Sporting, he had 27 goals.
I've heard of a player that's done that before.
27 goals and 6 assists. And then the following 3 years had a combined 7 appearances.
Yeah, this dude did nothing. He was ass after that.
After 27 goals, that's remarkable. And then on the other side for Ramirez, he had a 20-goal contribution season in 30 appearances, which is pretty good.
Okay. So,
and it did not appear, but for one Everton appearance until 2019.
Yeah, okay. So that's what I thought. When I saw the little Malaga logo next to him, or wording, that's why I was a bit confused. I remember him at Everton. He was a La Masia kid. But I didn't remember him at Malaga, but I guess that makes sense then. Because he, I guess, did not do much. Dude, this guy Sandro Ramirez is ass. I'm going through his... Okay, in 2016-17, he had 14 goals, 3 assists, and 30 matches. So that's not horrible. But yeah, afterwards, this dude didn't do anything either. But yeah, like you guys said, Slimani has to go in as the number 2 there, banging in close to 30 goals for Sporting, and then from there, not literally doing anything the rest of your career. I wonder what the thought process, like, I wonder if he's like, damn, bro, I'm not being utilized right, or if he's just like, so you bang in the 30, like, in the back of his head, is he like, that's it? Like, I'm going to be the next best striker? Or does he kind of know he's like, yeah, I'm kind of ass, but you know what I mean?
There was as I was doing some research, there was a touching quote from Bojan that I heard. This is bringing it back to the first round matchup, I guess, but I wanted to share because there's this quote he said, people used to say, oh, this is the new Messi, but I couldn't do anything about it. I knew my own qualities, and I understood that I wasn't Messi. I was Bojan. And, you know, that's just tough. It really puts it into perspective, like, the pressure some of these guys have after when a 17-year-old has a great year.
It's
like
true.
All of a sudden you have to be the next greatest of all time. It's like, dude, that's not who I am.
Yeah, and like you can't come out and be like, no, I'm not that good.
Right.
Like you know, you kind of just have to be like, yeah, like I'm that dude, you know? And the famous quote's like, why do I have to be the next Messi? I could just be, you know, you just say your name, or the next this player, and I'm just the first Daniel Capucci. Right. Yeah, that's a tough one. Boyan kind of got screwed here a little bit in this because he was 17. He's probably more of a failed wonder kid than a one-season wonder. A lot of these guys were fully adults. Maybe Van de Beek too. But most of these guys were like pros that had a great season and just kind of, that was it. But
Yeah.
that being said, let's move over to Cisse for Newcastle, 2011, 2012. Our 1 seed going against Clint Dempsey, Fulham, 2011, 2012, the 8 seed. Here's going to be my argument, and it's not even going to have to do anything with Cisse. I think to call Dempsey a one-season wonder is a little bit harsh. Maybe maybe that was his prime year, but Dempsey, obviously a U.S. legend, what he did at Seattle, what he did for Spurs for a little bit. I feel like to just kind of call him like a one-season wonder, maybe that was his best year, but it's not like some of these guys disappeared. He didn't disappear. He just didn't reach those heights again. I don't know, Pooch. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with your thought process. I don't think he reached the heights he maybe did 2011, 2012, but he still had a successful career, even for his national team.
Right.
A lot of these other guys, including their national team, just did not perform.
Right.
So I do think Cisse has to go through, and we can, as it gets further on, we could talk more about Pape Cisse.
Yeah, I think here's the other thing with Dempsey, just to give you guys an idea. 2008, 2009 in the Prem, he puts in 7 goals. 2009, 2010, another 7. 2010, 11, he has 12. I think that was his best year. Then 2011, 2012, he has 17. And then from there, it kind of goes downhill. But yeah, he has 7 again. That was like his lucky number. 0. He then comes to Major League Soccer. He puts in 8 in his first year in 17 games. 2017 puts in 50. My point being is he didn't make it at the top level, but dude kind of did his thing and then dipped out. Fair enough. I'm going to take Cisse here, and then we will move into the next round, which is, if I'm not mistaken here, Carlos Alberto for Porto. He's our number 3 seed versus, I've never heard of this guy in my life, Guiza, Guiza, the number 6 seed for Mallorca. And maybe as you did some research on these guys, you want to give us a little bit of background?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I think we're wrecking the transfer market servers right now single-handedly.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
In terms of Guisa, this was an interesting case. This was somebody who had not done much until he had a very, very productive season with Mallorca, where he had, he had 37 appearances, 27 goals, and 7 assists.
Okay.
A remarkable season. He got called up to the Spanish national team.
Wow.
Played a few games there. Secured a big transfer to Fenerbahce. And then it just fizzled out for him. He didn't find time at Fenerbahce. He had a good season a couple years later, but it was nothing compared to 27 goals in La Liga. And it all just faded for Guisa after having one of the better seasons for a Spanish forward in the history of La Liga.
Yeah, he was actually a decent player. I'm looking here. He, for Ciudad Murcia, which I think is probably a lower level team in Spain, 36 goals and 81 appearances. For Getafe over 2 years, 20 goals and 61 appearances. Mallorca, he does 27 and 37. He does go to Fenerbahce. The problem here is in 62 games, he only puts in 23 goals, and that's over a 3-year period. He ends up going back to Getafe, and it just goes downhill from there. I was taking a look at this Alberto guy from Porto. I can't even find, what did he do well? I guess 1 season here.
He scored the first goal in the Champions League final for Porto.
Well, that's what's funny is he won a Champions League final. I almost feel like, he's got to be the bigger flop then. Because he literally was at the pinnacle. He's like an Eder Sarabia. Well, no, not Sarabia. What's his name? Eder, the guy that scored the game winner for Portugal in the Euros.
Eder?
Yeah.
I think that's his name.
What's his last name?
Eder.
Oh, that's it. It's just Eder. Yeah, literally his name is just Eder. That's all I could find.
Yeah.
No, it's Ederzito Antonio Maicedo Lopes, commonly known as Eder.
That's got to be sick to just have one name.
Yeah, like Pooch.
No, but as your act, I guess that would work too.
It's a nickname. Yeah, let's go with Alberto there, and then let's move into our 4-5 matchup. So we have, is his name Steven Ireland?
Yeah.
Steven Ireland from Man City 2008-2009 versus, what is this guy's name? Graphite? Wolfsburg 2008, 2009 is our 5 seed. Pooch, anyone you're feeling particularly? I don't know.
I think
I've never heard of either one of
Steven
these dudes.
Ireland would be my go-to. In
Okay.
08-09, he had 12 goals and 9 assists. And I
Okay.
just always remember him. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's a midfielder. So I always remember him as kind of being like that one season wonder where he doesn't really do much besides like a typical he's a typical 4 seed in this where like he could get upset here, but like I just know his name is is prevalent enough to where I can recall people being like Steven Ireland, good player.
Right.
Plus he's Irish, so the fact that his last name is Ireland is actually hilarious.
Wait, I didn't.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't even clock that. That's actually really funny.
yeah. So I think I would go Ireland here.
Yeah, let me just look up this graphite guy.
He in 2008, 2009 for Wolfsburg, he had 28 goals and 7 assists. A pretty remarkable season.
Damn.
And then struggled to get appearances in subsequent years for Wolfsburg before moving to Saudi and struggling from there.
Okay. Fair enough. Does that change anything for you there, Pooch?
Nah.
The struggling in Saudi, that's a tough one.
Actually, maybe.
That's a tough one.
That is tough to struggle in Saudi. Yeah, you want to put graphite on
put
there.
graphite. I might graphite might be
That's
my
a
dark
great
horse
point.
the rest of the way.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. He did struggle in Saudi.
That's a bad look, man. I feel like I could probably walk onto like a Saudi team. Do I want to? Probably not, but I feel like I could. All right, and now let's move on to our 2-7 matchup. So we have Andrei Arshavin, Arsenal 2008-2009, and then Dimitri Payet as our number 7 seed, West Ham 2015-2016. Here's the thing. Although I think Payet, again, he's similar to kind of maybe a Dempsey in this case, where he had one awesome season. I don't know if I could say Payet was a one-season wonder. Pooch, you obviously have an Arsenal lad here. What are we thinking?
This one's really tough for me because I think they both fall into that Dempsey boat of being of having a decent career before and after, but that 1 year the streets won't forget. Like for both of them. Like Payet, I can picture still to this day like him putting in that like top bins free kick and everybody losing their mind. He single-handedly helped West Ham like stay up that year, I'm pretty sure. And then Arshavin had the classic 4-goal game against Liverpool. They both have decent like same numbers kind of. Payet had a bit better. My thing is even as an Arsenal fan, I think Payet was more of he had better numbers when he went to Marseille. I think I saw in my quick research right now, he had a year of 10 goals, 20 assists, like a few years after he left West Ham. Crazy year. But also, like, did we really hear of that? No. If we're talking like, I think I may want Payet to go through just based on the aura that he had. And maybe I'm getting into like the streets won't forget, although this is what that is.
No,
kind of.
It's just one season.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but streets won't forget.
Temporary. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
This is like you don't want to win this.
I think. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I maybe am getting into the territory with both of them in my mind of streets won't forget footballers,
right?
Which makes a ton of sense because they both, to me, is a very even matchup. It's like a 3 versus a 14 in like the NCAA tournament where the 14 people sit there and they're like, the 14 could do it. Like they have 2 losses all year. Like they're a really good mid-major.
Here's the research.
I think they may do it. Like I think I may choose Payet.
So here's where I'm going to go Arshavin. So just looking at quickly here, his peak was only about 3 to 4 months at Arsenal when he joined in January 2009. after his like first 6 months, his form dipped dramatically and he struggled with consistency. Pyatt was there for 18 months, and in his 18 months, he was kind of a baller there. He recorded 9 goals and 12 assists, and he won 5 end-of-season awards. Pyatt also then featured prominently for France in the Euros. He ended up leaving West Ham. Obviously, he went to Marseille. But I feel like he still had, like you said, a successful career, which would, in that case, like I don't know where Arshavin went after Arsenal.
So Arshavin basically just went to Zenit St. Petersburg, which is where he played most of his career before Arsenal. Also, Owen, do we have the year correct, by the way? Because I'm looking at his numbers for 08, 09.
Yeah, I just noticed that as well. It might be
Yeah.
I might be a year off.
Because his 2010-2011 season, he had 10 goals for 14 assists.
Golly.
So that's why I don't know. We can go Arshavin, but I think my mind is just bleeding into Streets Won't Forget footballers, and I loved watching Pyatt play because he was so silky. Like he reminded me of a poor man's Mesut Ozil, like a really poor man though.
I was about to say that's a really tricky one there. Yeah.
No. Like this man is
poor?
homeless.
Yeah,
this man's homeless. This man's worse than homeless. Like
okay. Fair enough.
So we could go Arshavin, but Graphite might beat him because Graphite couldn't succeed at Saudi, but that's an argument for later.
All right, let's keep it pushing. Let's move back up to our initial one. We have Michu, our 1 seed, going against Donny van de Beek, the 6 seed. Once again, I kind of just think we got to go Michu here. I
do too, but the prospect of Donny van de Beek, the only reason I will say Michu is because Michu literally just fell off after. Van de Beek, you could make the case like, well, he got super injury prone.
Yep.
After leaving. Like was the reason why. So like you could make that argument where you could sit there and be like, that's why he kind of like he could have done it, but he got hurt. Michu, it literally is just like Michu just fell off.
Yep, I'm with you there. Luka Jovic, our 5 seed, versus Slimani, our 2 seed. I think we have an upset. I don't know.
I think we got an upset too. I think I want to pick Luka Jovic.
I do too.
He literally was destined to be the next great one.
Yep. And 60 mil, man.
Yeah.
Most of these guys didn't get like some crazy big money move. This dude literally, like I said, I was so pissed. I wanted him to be Barca's next striker. As Suarez, like at this point, Suarez was still okay, but it was kind of clear like these guys were going to start fading out. But alrighty, let's move over to our other side here. Our number 1 seed, Papa Cisse, versus...
I forget who won.
I think we took Alberto.
Yeah.
Versus Alberto. Yeah, we took Alberto because he scored the first goal in Porto's Champions League win. I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to go probably Papa Cisse. This is a very chalk, a very chalk bracket in my eyes, but that's okay sometimes. Because I think when we do our Degenerates one in a couple weeks, that is going to be madness.
Yeah, that one will be crazy.
Okay.
There's one player that I will not be putting on that bracket, by the way. Just going to say that right now.
Who's that?
He won't be on the bracket. He's more than a degenerate.
Well, yeah, we wouldn't. Why? Yeah, we wouldn't want anything like that.
I don't know. I know that he has some sort of fascination with this player, and I just want to get out ahead of this.
I do.
Yeah, you do. You keep posing all these ridiculous hypotheticals.
I just asked you questions, dude.
I don't want to get into it. I'm starting to get a little angry thinking about him.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Wait, real quick. I just want to point out something. I think we've been saying Cisse's name wrong.
How do you say
this entire time? Papis?
No. Papis Demba Cisse.
Yeah, but you can't have a first name of Papis.
Yeah, that might be enough right there.
Yeah.
That might be enough.
Right.
Also, because I'd never heard of Carlos Alberto. Let me just read the stats for 2011-2012 for Papis. 13 goals, 2 assists, and 1,100 minutes played. overall a pretty good season. He had joined in January. So for Bundesliga, he had already scored 9 goals, 0 assists in 1,500 minutes. So the dude was on a 22-goal season with 2 assists for 2 different, combined 2 different clubs. Premier League the next year, he had 8 total goals, which isn't horrible. And then afterwards, a lot of just 2s and 2s, right?
Pretty
he did
sure
have a
he
resurgence in
kept-
2014-15 with 11 goals.
I'm pretty sure, though, he kept Newcastle up that year. Like when he came in January, it's 11-12. When he came in January, they just went on a tear because of him. Oh, they finished in 5th. That's what it
Yeah.
was. It wasn't that he kept him up, but they got into Europe because of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think also part of it was just he has the iconic goal against Chelsea from like the top corner of the box and just bending it into the top corner. So I think he got people very excited. And a lot of nice goals that year, to be fair, but he got people excited and then turned out to just kind of be a bum. But hey, fair enough. He's got a goal catalog, and that's all that matters. When you show your grandkids one day and you go, I was the best striker in the world, and you're just pulling out bangers. Like Olivier Giroud will be able to tell his kids, I was the best striker in the world. I'm one of the best of all time.
If his kids just ever see a comp of him, if
Yeah.
I was him, I would never show my kids a full game of me playing. I would legitimately just always just show the comps, and they'd be like,
Yeah.
"Did you ever actually play?" And I'd be like, "Yeah. Just watch this comp again."
All right. Let's move on to our final, I guess you'd call this the quarterfinal? Yeah, our final quarterfinal. Graphite versus Andre Arshavin. I'm not going to talk numbers. Let's just talk about the fact that Graphite fell off after playing in Saudi.
Dude, good enough for me.
Yeah,
legitimately good enough for me.
Good enough. So let's move him over there for us, Owen. There we go. Beautiful. All right, we have our final 4. Very exciting. On the left, you have a man who is still known to this day for an iconic celebration. A player that Erling Haaland said was his favorite striker of all time. A man, a myth, a legend. His name, low-key, means one season wonder. Michu, Swansea, 2012-2013. Competing against him, a man who everyone thought was the next great. A man who had Barca and Real Madrid fans fighting for his signature. A man who scammed an entire club out of 60 mil. The 5 seed, representing his Frankfurt 2018-2019 season, Luka Jovic. And on the other side, a man who, again, probably had one of the craziest goal catalogs of all time, gave Newcastle fans hope in 2011-2012, Papis Cisse. Senegalese, by the way, probably not happy with what's going on in AFCON. Going against the underdog who's made a run to the final. If only he made a couple more runs in Saudi. A man who, for Wolfsburg in 2008-2009, made them think, maybe we got one of them ones. No, you don't. You simply have Graphite. All right, Pooch, first semifinal here. Michu versus Luka Jovic. I'm going Michu.
I'm still in love with that soliloquy you just did.
Thank you.
And I was trying to think of a joke about Chernobyl and the people saying what you just said, but about the graphite that was falling.
So that's not funny. That was a natural disaster.
I mean, we could talk Katrina next if you really want to.
No, I'd prefer not to.
Okay.
Owen might take the mic and say that certain people don't care about certain people.
You picked Michu.
That's what I think, yeah. He did nothing afterwards. He literally did nothing.
But did he cost 60 million and go to Real Madrid and have the whole world thinking that he was next up? Michu, if this was Streets Won't Forget, I think Michu is in the final. Like Michu's up there in my opinion with the final because like Streets will not forget. I think we think too much. It goes back to the Payet. We think of the Payet goals. We think of the Michu celebration about how he banged in 22 goals in all comps that year. Like, and then I agree, he fell off. But it wasn't like Michu like went on to then go to Real Madrid where he stunk it up, and then AC Milan where he stunk it up, and now he's at AEK Athens. Like,
Here's
Luka
my argument.
Jovic legitimately took Real Madrid's money and just got super fat. People forget that too.
He
He
did
got
get very
super fat
yes.
at Madrid. Like they were
Holy crap.
nobody at Madrid or when he was at his when Michu was at his top, nobody was like, this guy's gonna be a top 5 striker in the world, potentially one of the all-time greats. Like Jovic was they told us that was what Luka Jovic was gonna be.
Guess how old Luka Jovic is?
29.
Yeah, he's 28. That's insane. Dude
And
could still have a
default, like,
remontada. Dude could
he
still have a
could,
remontada.
but he won't.
Oh, and do you think he'd still have a remontada?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not very confident.
Okay, fair enough. Fine. Luka Jovic with a massive upset in the final. The 5 seed makes it in. Pooch with a great argument for him. And I do agree with you. Michu's probably more of a, what would the word be?
Streets won't forget.
Well done. And now we move back over to the other semifinal. We have Papissi Boy Cisse versus Graphite, even though he's Brazilian. So, Grafinha. Here's what I'm going to say, Graphite. Papi Cisse, 2 or 3 years later after his 2011-2012 season, ended up having another 15-goal season on the Prem. I think he had 14. So, like, not really a one-season wonder. Graphite couldn't do it in Saudi. And this is pre-Ronaldo Saudi. This is bad Saudi. This is like 2010 Saudi.
So I'm inclined to agree with you with Graphite. My only thing is, did anybody ever expect anything of Graphite, even after that 1 year?
That's a good point.
Like, we've watched enough footy growing up to where if we would have, like, even a guy like Cisse, we still know Papis and Michu. And we were, what, like, maybe a decade old, like a little bit over 10.
Good word. Yeah,
like,
I was 12.
Yeah, so, like, we knew their names enough. Like, even you mentioned in the first round, the 7th seed against Slomane, Sandro, whoever. Like, you knew who that was. We've never heard of Graphite until we just did research on him 15 minutes ago. So the fact that he is still kicking around, like, I just think, like, yeah, he had a great year and then he couldn't hack it in Saudi. But Papis was, like, expected to be something after that one season wonder.
But my point is he had another season.
I know. And then that's where I'm stuck in the middle, because on one hand, Papis did have some good years after that, but maybe never reached the height he did with okay, you wanna know what? We forget what I'm saying. We're going Graphite. We're going Graphite.
Graphite number 5. Owen has just put a picture of Graphite on the bracket.
Forget what I'm saying, man. I was gonna go into a whole thing there. No, Owen convinced me.
A dude couldn't do it in Saudi, man, in 2010, bro. Like,
this is the most, like, washed picture I've ever seen of somebody.
Why does he kind of look like Kanye? All right, and our big final. Luka, 60 mil and 60 extra pounds. Jovic versus Graf. He couldn't do it in Saudi. This is a tough one. Pooch, we'll do as we did in the last one. We each pick a side. I'm going to take Graphite. I'll give you Luka Jovic.
Okay.
And then we'll let the fans vote on socials. You could start. Balls in your court. You want to rock, paper, scissors, shoot? Who goes first? Who goes second?
No, I'll go first. I think I made some good points about Luka Jovic, where his career literally just never took off after that. He got super fat, which I think is super important, that he did a Eden Hazard before Hazard even joined.
Wow.
And like you said, he's 38 right now and can't hack it. Like, he can't hack it in the big leagues. That year he had, I'm trying to do math, 33 goal contributions in 48 games. Graphite had 20 something goals in his 1 year. And I think one thing too to point out is the years before, he had that Frankfurt crazy season. He had 6 goals, 0, 0, 2, 2, 9, all before that. And then at the national team level, like he still gets games. He has 50 caps for his national team, 11 goals. So clearly he doesn't even do it for the national team either. It's just a career of literally a one season where he just went off and everybody in the world knows his name, but his name is synonymous with you couldn't hack it.
All right. Is that your full argument?
I put half of my argument into the Michu part, so.
Okay. So Graphite.
Real quick.
Yes.
I brought some other stuff up. Bring some other stuff not related to him going to Saudi.
Yeah. All right. That's fine. Yeah. So Graphite, real quick, let me look at the rest of his career. I don't know why you would ask me to do that first off. Is this him? Graphite Santa Cruz from Brazil? No, not him. There's another Graphite out there. That's not him either. Is this him? Nope. A lot of people. Oh, and do you know his first name?
No, I think it's just Graphite.
All right, here it is. All right, Graphite. Let's go through his stats. So not only could he not kick it in Saudi, dude couldn't do it in Qatar. Then dude went back to Brazil and couldn't do it in Brazil.
Is that it?
He played for a team called Le Mans, and he barely did it there. Yeah, Blood could not do it. Oh, he also played at FC Seoul in the K-League. And they were both, he couldn't even cut it in Korea, dude. Dude couldn't cut it at anywhere on this Asian continent. Struggled to cut it in Brazil. This man was a one-season wonder. He scored a mazy goal against Bayern Munich. He went on a mazy little run and scored that got their fans excited. But that being said, he couldn't cut it in Saudi. So that's my argument there for Graphite. Listen, I'm not going to ask a team that shot the 3-ball the whole way there to stop shooting the 3-ball at this point. You know, maybe all the shots don't go in. Maybe we have a bad day, but I'm not going to try and reinvent the wheel. Graphite couldn't cut it in Saudi. That's it.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, you're not changing my mind. I think Luka Jovic for $60 million to go for $60 million. And then basically he played 36 games for Madrid. So
I'm hearing
Madrid,
a lot of like numbers and stats, but what we should be talking about is Luka Jovic, though, is now cutting it over in what country is he playing? In Greece. And he's having a remontada. Graphite can't have a remontada. Graphite's 40 years old and retired.
Is he having a
Luka
remontada?
Jovic can have a remontada. What if Luka Jovic comes to Arsenal next year and wins you guys the Champions League?
Good for him. You're not going to convince me that Graphite is the biggest one-season wonder ever. And I know if we toss it over to Owen, because he's putting a decorative frame on Graphite right now, I know he's going to pick Graphite. So I guess we'll have to throw it over to Owen, but I know what the answer is going to be, and I think we're so wrong.
This is actually like a really tough one. As I was sitting here looking into Graphite's eyes, I was actually listening to your guys' arguments, and they're both very good.
Thank you.
If
all Ethan said was he's just a bad footballer. There's not that's the difference.
He couldn't cut it in Saudi.
But he had a great season.
He had a great year, but nobody ever thought, man, this guy's gonna really kick on and be one of the world's best. Like Jovic, literally, people are sitting there begging him. I think that Owen, you had a 16-year-old Ethan Cohen crying in his room when Luka Jovic went to Real Madrid. Graphite didn't do that to him. Luka Jovic did.
But I think that the crux of the argument here is that Jovic is still, like, as we mentioned, he's still like getting like first team reps, like with like competitive clubs.
Competitive? He's in AEK Athens.
Bro, my guy Graphite went from Wolfsburg to Shabab Al Ali Dubai FC and couldn't cut it, Pooch.
This guy had 28 goals and 7 assists, and 3 years later was struggling in Saudi. 28 goals and 7 assists for Wolfsburg. This guy has got like trophies to his name. He's got like I don't know. I mean,
This is good
I don't
podcasting.
know. He I'm looking at his accolades here, and he was a German champion. This guy won a Club World Cup.
That's actually what I was thinking myself too.
But doesn't that
Like-
hurt his case?
This guy, huh?
Doesn't that hurt his case?
No, that's how good
If
his
you-
season was. He was on top of the world. Maybe he should have went for 60 mil to Real Madrid.
Because I think an important part of that is that not only did he have a great season, but like he had a great season on a club when they won the league. They won all these things. He was, he won the golden boot of the league. Like he had a generational season.
So did Luka Jovic. Luka Jovic won the Golden Boot.
But then he struggled in Saudi like 2 years later.
All right.
I don't think
I
you
see
get how
where
hard
this
it
is
was to
going. I
struggle
see
in
where this
Saudi.
is going. I see where this is going. I won't argue anymore. The
Let the
decorative
fans
frame.
pick.
Did you not hear the
decorative
clubs
frame.
and the leagues that he was rattling off that this dude's been?
I did.
You ever heard of Al Shabab Al Ali Dubai FC?
Yes, actually, they played El Hatafe this past weekend.
I forgot Pooch such a ball knower. Yeah. All right. Let's move in then to our weekend preview here. Alrighty. That's enough bracket talk. I think no one wants to hear us argue anymore about whether or not Graphite could cut it in Saudi. Let's move in here to a cheeky weekend preview. We will start. Where do you want to start, Pooch? You want to start EFL Cup, or do you want to start with just some of the other Prem games?
Let's start with the Prem games.
Let's start. So real quick, today, Bournemouth versus United. Who are you taking here, Pooch?
United away. Bournemouth's on the slide. Let me take United.
Okay, fair enough. I agree with that. I think Tyler Adams isn't playing. So fair enough. Brighton versus Liverpool in Brighton. This feels like a cheeky spot for Brighton.
It does. I kind of agree with you. Liverpool just coming off that win. They have to travel to Brighton.
I feel like
agree.
Liverpool got
Brighton.
an eye on Champions League probably more than Prem too.
Yeah.
And this feels like a spot that Brighton, where they're probably looking at them. They're probably doing their scouting on Brighton, but they're like, yeah, if we just play well, we'll get a result. And meanwhile, Brighton is probably like doing a full what is it, Dragon Warrior from Kung Fu Panda, like training regimen, getting ready for Liverpool. So I'm going to take Brighton here, at least to get a result. This one, I feel like should be a cheeky one. Everton versus Chelsea.
I think Everton, in all honesty. At Everton,
Yeah.
like Chelsea just coming off bad vibes loss. Everton want to get their lick back from last weekend against Arsenal.
Yep.
Like, I could see Everton coming through and winning.
I agree with that too. I could also see on the flip Chelsea and like Liam locking in a little bit. I feel like they kind of do that. They avoid big slides, but I'm never going to root for Chelsea. So I think Everton get a result here. Tyne-Wear Derby this weekend, one of Pooch's favorites. We have Newcastle versus Sunderland over in Newcastle. What was the first leg? Sunderland won the first leg or they drew?
No. Sunderland won. Sunderland won. I believe 1-0.
So Newcastle coming off a horrific display against Barca at the midweek. They now take on Sunderland at home in the Tyne-Wear Derby, a big game for them. Pooch, what are you feeling here?
I honestly think Newcastle. Like watching the end of that Barca game, it looked like the Newcastle players
Yeah.
kind of just gave up. So I don't think it hurt their mentals too much.
Yep.
And also at the same time, it's the first time we're back at Newcastle. And maybe
right.
It might be 2 years though, but first time in the Prem in 7, because I believe they played a FA Cup game
Yeah.
a few years ago there. With that being said, the fans will be up for it. So that atmosphere will be rocking. And I think the players will, we've said it so much. Newcastle is such a passion club. Or passion team. That's why they perform so well at home. And I think this is just another case. Plus Sunderland has low-key been on a bit of a slide in the past month or two. So I think Newcastle.
I tend to agree with you there. This is one of those games that normally I take Sunderland and then Newcastle wins 3-0 and I just look like an idiot. So I'm going to rock with Pooch. Villa versus West Ham. I think this is another cheeky upset. I think West Ham are going to pull out a
agree.
result here, and this is going to put Spurs under some fire. Aston Villa are on the slide.
I agree. I agree with West Ham winning. I don't agree with it. It puts Spurs' feet on the coals, though. Um, but I do think West Ham will get a result, whether that's a point or 3.
Spurs versus Forest. This is a 6-pointer. A big 6-pointer here. I think Spurs actually get a result. Now I will preface Spurs. Van de Ven's on a red, I think, still.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember who's back. I think
Romero, Bergvall, Udogi.
Yeah, they're all back. You're right. I think
I think Spurs put BTA on Forest.
That'd be awesome. I would
Forest
not mind that,
just
Mr.
went to-
Marinakis.
Yes, Forest just went to Pens today. They played 120 minutes.
Yep.
You guys put in a good performance midweek. Like I said, you're getting some of your players back. I don't think it's a free-for-all that you guys... Now, if you lose, I think you guys are going down. But
Wow.
I think it's more than a 6-pointer. I think it's a 12-pointer.
Whoa. A new. Okay. So, but if we win, it's a 12-pointer too. And if we draw, it's an 11-pointer?
If you draw... Well, yeah. I need to talk to my mathematician again.
Okay.
But I'm
That's fair.
pretty sure even with a loss, you guys are still good.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I do think you guys will put BTA on them, though.
I'd love to. Arsenal versus City, the EFL Cup final. Give me City. What do you feel here, Pooch? Are you confident in your chances?
I'm confident, but I'm nervous because it's the first final we've been in 5 years. So
Wait, really?
I'm definitely, yes, since we won that FA Cup in Arteta's first year, we have not been back to a final.
Holy shit. I did not. I kind of thought you guys had been in finals. I didn't realize.
No. Historically, we just bounce out of the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup super early. And then it's basically we're fighting for Champions League and the Prem. So this year, I'm a little nervous for that reason. But at the same time, if you don't have nerves, you're not alive. So that nervous is more just nervous excitement for it.
Okay.
So I feel confident. I feel like City just got kind of beat up by Real Madrid, and I know they'll be looking at Arsenal to get their lick back. But I think the confidence that we have, I do think we'll be able to pull through.
Okay. Yeah, I think City are going to look at this as probably the only chance to get a trophy this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Arsenal are going to look at this as a good opportunity to win a trophy, but also, well, if we lose, who cares? We're going for the big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are so confident you've already won the league that this should mean nothing. You already have a trophy in the back pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed.
So congrats on that, and potentially a double. That'd be huge for you guys.
Potentially a quadruple.
Well, right, but I'm saying after this weekend, a potentially double.
Yeah, and 50% to the quadruple.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Whatever you say. Alrighty. Let's move into real quick some La Liga. Big game this weekend, Villarreal versus Real Sociedad. Should be a good one. I'd bet on Sociedad. Even though Villarreal has been good in La Liga. Villarreal are very Aston Villa, where they look good early on and they've sputtered a bit. And Sociedad are just always a strong team. Sevilla versus Valencia. Both these teams are really not that great. I just wrote this down because these are two big names. This is like if Tottenham were to play West Ham, where these are traditionally upper to mid-half teams in the table playing against each other. So it's always something nice to watch. Again, as a reminder, all these games will have retro branding, jerseys, all that. So tune in. Barca take on Rayo Vallecano. I think, I'm trying to think. I think Hansi might rotate the squad a bit. Vallecano is not great. And I'm sure that this is the part of the year that we need to rotate. Good news is we avoided Joan Garcia. Those who saw in that game against Newcastle, he went down with a calf injury. What's funny is a lot of people think, because he just came up, apparently there was no injury, he's totally fine. A lot of people think that he just didn't want to play anymore. He was like, all right, Chesney, you're in. And faked it, which would be awesome. I was hoping that they would give the kid Diego Cochin, who's an American, a chance, who's on the bench, but I get it. Tech is the backup. And then the big one, or one of the other big ones this weekend, is Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. Big league matchup here. Give me Atletico Madrid to win this one. I think Real are going to be feeling good about themselves. I think Atletico are a very cheeky team in very good form, and they're going to give Real Madrid a lot of problems. Real Madrid are going to get a penalty in this game. Just book that on some soft shit. I don't know. Thoughts there, Pooch? Anything you want to add?
No, I think everything you said was pretty on par.
Thank you.
I do think I could see, though, like you said, Madrid getting a penalty and it ending 1-0 Real Madrid.
Yeah,
I do think I could see that.
You're right. With the point I made, it was kind of prefacing if Real Madrid wins this game, I think they win it on some bull jive.
Yeah.
Is what it is. Moving into Serie A, I kind of looked through the games. Nothing too crazy here. Bologna versus Lazio appeared to be the best one. I don't know if I was missing anything else. I think who's Como?
Nah, I think you're pretty good.
Como versus Pisa. Are they playing this weekend? They are. I think Como wins. Pooch, who does Roma have?
We have this weekend Lecce.
Yummy.
Milk.
League. Do you have
Lyon
thoughts?
versus Monaco. I don't know. I like Monaco in this game. I think they've been playing well recently.
Plus Ansu Fati.
Plus Flo Balogun.
Plus Paul Pogboom.
Plus Mika Bereth.
Ooh, he actually is a baller. All right. And then you have Marseille. Wait, it's like OM? How do you say that? I got him. He said
I said
He said
No,
he said
I said
he said
I said
Stop saying. I can't wait till I press the AI feature on this to get rid of the ums. It just gets rid of you and I talking for the past 3 seconds there. Just blank space there. I said it too. Versus Lille. I don't know. I don't watch League.
I think Lille will probably win, but I want Marseille to win.
Why?
So I'm gonna go for Marseille because they have
Bad people.
one Airy. They have one Airy.
Oh, okay. Oh, and who are you rooting for in that one?
I don't know. I don't care. Not Marseille.
Okay. Well, so you're rooting for Lille. Real quick, MLS, a couple of decent matchups. But the big one I saw, NYCFC versus Inter Miami. Inter Miami just lost at the midweek in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which we should be covering more. Like, it's Champions League for our country.
Philly lost to Club America. Club America.
Philly, not very good organization. Got to be a tough one right now to beat Harubi, man. Like, just a Chelsea struggling, Philly struggling.
Well, at least Embiid's playing well.
I don't watch NBA, is he?
I think he's hurt again.
Yeah, he's hurt.
The Flyers are good, though, right? Are you serious? I thought the Flyers were really good.
No, them and the 76ers are two cheeks of the same ass.
Still, that is a good quote. The bullshit, that's baseball. Horrible quote. All good.
Well, you just don't get it.
I just don't get baseball, even though I wear a Yankees hat on this podcast every week.
That's baseball.
NYCFC versus Inter Miami. Ready for this? Cheeky. Give me NYCFC to get a result at home. Until last year, NYCFC was the only team that I think Messi did not have a goal or assist against. I think in their second leg or whatever, he ended up getting one. But NYCFC plays them really tough, and there's a little bit of a natural
field where are they playing?
Yankee Stadium, world famous.
Oh, that's baseball.
Yeah. You know the show Around the Horn? We need to incorporate like a mute button the way they used to. There is a button, but like, no, it's okay. You can unmute. Don't worry. You didn't say or like. You're good. Vancouver versus San Jose, a clash of two titans in the MLS. Oh, and who you rooting for here?
I'm gonna stay with my boy Sebastian Berhalter. I'm his number one fan, and therefore I'm with Vancouver.
Did he get called up? I assume so, right?
I don't know. I was gonna say this earlier when you were talking about these national team rosters. I'll insert it real quick. I never look at whenever these rosters come out at this time in the year. I never put any stock in them because it's usually just managers like being like, "Hey, let's try some things out." It's like it's never like at all indicative of what you're going to see during the actual competition.
Right.
So I'm never like, "Ooh, I need to see who blank's called up." It's like it never means anything.
So you don't want me to tell you that if I just looked up if Berhalter got called up, do you want me to tell you or no? Are you good?
You can tell me.
Okay, real quick. Pooch's hand is raised. Yes, Mr. Pooch.
I don't want us to go too long because we've already just talked for 2 hours basically.
Sure.
But I do have a question for Owen.
Sure. Yeah.
Wouldn't the March window though, right before the World Cup, mean the most? I get it. Like in a normal non-World Cup year, the March window, it's like trying some stuff out as a manager. But I feel like this window, if anything, is pretty indicative of like this is our last chance before a training camp to really get a group of guys together and see who we have
So
to call up.
do you see this window as the managers being like, this is my squad? Or do
No,
you
but
see this window as managers being like, let me figure out what pieces we can plug into this squad?
maybe more of the latter, but in a USA situation, I feel like it may be more of for this cycle, more of a let's see, like let's
Y- y-
get at least 18 guys that we know are going to be on the
Yeah.
roster on this team. And then the rest we'll figure out the other guys. So like, for example, like I don't know if I didn't look at their roster, but if they called up like a Pulisic
Yeah,
or
this
Tim
is
Weah,
what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna base my stance on this topic on whether or not they called Sebastian Berhalter up. So, is he on the squad? Yes or no?
He was called up.
So yeah, so then clearly this is the manager saying like, this is my squad, this is who I'm bringing. So this makes a lot of sense. Like, yeah, so Berhalter will be at the World Cup. He will be our starting midfielder, or left back, or right wing, or striker. Put him in net. He can do it all. But yeah, this window's a little tricky. All that's to say, go Vancouver Whitecaps to tomorrow or whenever they play.
Is that your team?
No,
What's your MLS team? Did we talk about this?
I guess I'm a Red Bulls fan.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, you're local, right? You don't really support any local teams, so that kind of fair enough.
Yeah, not really. I do like the Knicks.
Okay.
And since my favorite basketball team is in the West, I
Yeah.
can root for the Knicks throughout the year for the most part. So I'm like a Knicks fan.
Okay.
And
fair
that's
enough.
the most local team I really get down and dirty for.
Interesting. Let's go real quick. U.S. Open Cup. I'm just going to leave Pooch's comments where they are. Let's look at the local teams. So I know for a fact Motown lost. I actually watched that, which is kind of cool. Like seeing it on TV, like some of these games because they're just playing at some random high school by our house. Motown lost. I still want to put a team in this, by the way, in the U.S. Open Cup and win it. How sick would that be if we won the U.S. Open Cup? I don't know. See, like this is my problem with like
it would be a Mickey Mouse Cup though, because not all the actual MLS teams participate anymore.
Pooch, I'll win any cup right now. What is this?
To bring home a cup of any kind would be electric.
You're not going to put up a cup in like your office somewhere one day and be like, yeah, because of me, Pooch FC just won the U.S. Open Cup. Someone's going to be like, well, no, it's a Mickey Mouse Cup, man. You know, the MLS teams aren't in it. It's like, well, yeah, Ethan's starting at center mid for me. Imagine drinking your morning coffee out of that. Motown lost. Let's see real quick. Westchester United lost. RIP. That may have been the only two. No, there was Garfield, New Jersey, lost to Knoxville. Buddy John Murphy's on that team. He did not play in this game. It looks like they played their backups. Flying through it. All right, whatever. That being said, that's the Open Cup for you. That's Open Cup. You don't like that one, Pooch? That's not fun for you? That's Open Cup.
Do whatever you got to do.
That's all right. That's kind of all I got here. You guys got anything?
Nope. Enjoy the games.
Enjoy the matches this weekend. Hopefully everyone's March Madness brackets are doing well. Yeah. Other than that, class is permanent. Form is temporary. We love y'all. Peace.